So Sisense has a number of tools to make it quick and easy to work with tables in your schema. Over here we can see we've got a few tables we can work with, and I'm going to discuss some of the basic and advanced configurations that are available. First off, we can see by highlighting the table there's a menu item that pops up. Also over here we've got an icon, so if I click on that on the right, it'll actually show me where the data source is. In this case it's SQL Server, the server address, the database name, and the original table name. On the top we've got a set of icons, so over here we can just click it to delete the table, to duplicate the table, or to add a custom field to the table. And custom fields are something we'll discuss a little later on in other videos. If the table's been built, if we've done a build and we've imported data, we can also get a preview. So if I click on that, I'll be able to preview table data. Again, that's only available if you've done a build, at least one build. In addition to that, there are a few features to rename and to work with the fields of the table. So over here, if I want to rename it, I can simply click on it and give it another name. So the semantic layer, the layer that enables you to name tables and fields, is open to you. It doesn't actually have an impact on the original data. So we can feel free to rename the tables and the fields to whatever is going to make most sense for us. In addition, if I click on a field, I also get another menu item over here. So again, I can rename the field. I can select the type of data contained within that field, so I can change it from a various numeric field options to datetime or to text. Obviously the data has to support this type of field change, but this is where you come to actually change the field type. In addition, we have some settings over here, so I can choose whether the data should be imported into that particular field every time we synchronize with the original data source. I can determine if that field is visible to an end user. So if we want to, even if we've built a cube, we might want some fields not to be shown to the dashboard developers. So over here we can make that invisible. And this accumulated by is a build setting, which we'll discuss later on in other videos. And lastly, we can duplicate the field as well. The last thing that I want to talk about is some of the advanced menu items. So over here we've got additional preferences. If I click on it, there's 3 additional categories of settings that we can choose from. The first one is build behavior. This determines how data should be imported into the table and when. These build settings are something we'll go into more detail in other videos. We can choose, if we have a lot of fields but we only want some of them to be imported, we can come here and choose to check all or to uncheck the fields. It makes it easier to determine which fields we want to show to the end user, or which fields we want to be imported. And lastly, we can determine whether the table is visible. What this means is when somebody's developing a dashboard, we might not want to show them the table. Sometimes we just want to use a table for data preparation or for other purposes. So we can actually hide it by checking or unchecking this visible option over here. And those are the 2 sets of options that make it really easy to change data's name, to work with tables, to manage the certain settings within the table. And of course, because it's a visual environment, we can just move it around and determine where the table should be placed to get a more logical layout if we need. So those are the options, and they really make it quick and easy to work with tables and fields within the Elasticube Manager.